Hello, everyone. My name is Austin, and today I want to share some good news. Some very, very good news. Honestly, I've been going through a lot this fine winter break, and there's a lot of stuff I could talk about this and that, and this could be I could share a lot of depressing stuff, right? A lot of stuff that's been weighing on my mind. But you know what? I thought to myself, how about I share something good at the very least? Some good experiences, so that way you guys can have a very happy holiday. I know Christmas is just over. As of recording this video, it's the day after Christmas, but New Year's is coming around pretty soon. And as I guess New Year's is about to show up and, come around, I might as well share some good stories, right? Some good stories. And that is old people. That's right. That was a hard open. Old people. You know them, you love them, you hate them. Old people. I'll say this very much. But old people are the backbone of the society, alright? I know boomers get a bad rep, and rightfully so. But, not gonna lie, they are very helpful when you need them to be. And in this case, I have two stories I want to share. Uh, one of which happened a long time ago, and one of which happened today, actually. So, I'll share the story of, I guess, a while back. So, a while back, this happened during the first semester of uni, so, not that long ago. I was driving along the road, obviously. God, why am I stuttering today? I'm driving around the road, and I was distracted by some shit. I'm not gonna go into detail, but I reared, I reared my car into a fucking ditch. And it sounds so stupid. Yeah. But I reared my car into a fucking ditch. I got it back up, thankfully. But then I noticed something on my car dashboard, right, while I was driving. And, I was feeling something as well. I was like, oh, my fucking, my back right tire, right? Something was wrong with it. So I fucking pulled over to the nearest gas station, and I had to look at it. And, I'm a Gen Z guy, right? I'm relatively new. I know those Gen Alphas are gonna come after me soon. But I'm new, right? I'm new. I'm a young blood. I'm a young sport. And I'm looking at this tire. I'm like, damn. Yeah, it's not good. It looks flat from the outside, and yeah. So I was like, oh, okay. I reared this car into the ditch. I might have hit something, but just in case, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Fucking cap off the tire. I don't know. Maybe the gas went out somewhere, and maybe all I need to do is just pump air into this fucking tire. So I got this fucking, I went to the air pumper, at the gas stations they have this fucking air pressure thing. You can just put it onto your fucking car and it pumps air for you, pumps air into your tires. So I did that. I pumped it in, and it didn't work. And some old guy shows up and he's like, "Son, what the fuck are you doing?" He's the most boomer ass guy ever, and he's like, "Son, what the fuck are you doing?" I'm like, my tire ain't working. It's probably low air. I didn't tell him that I veered this thing into the fucking ditch, by the way. I reared this thing. You know what I mean? I slammed my car into a fucking ditch. I didn't tell him any of this shit. He's like, oh, okay. Well, why don't you go get the spare tire? I'm like, the fuck? I was like, why do I need a spare tire? He's like, no fucking question it. Go get a spare tire, motherfucker. And I'm like, all right, I'll go get a spare tire. So, I go back in the trunk of my car. I get the spare tire out. He's like, do you know how to change a spare tire? I'm like, how do you know what the hell my issue is? And he's like, just shut the fuck up and just shut the fuck up and just answer my question. Do you know how to answer? Do you know how to change a spare tire? I'm like, a little bit. But I don't do it often enough to remember. He's like, all right, I'll teach you then. And then, yeah, so, I'm not gonna tell you how to change a spare tire, Cause not gonna lie, I keep forgetting, but I keep forgetting. But basically, he taught me how to change a tire, and yeah. Honestly, if my tire goes bad again, I'll probably do a tutorial. Okay, I'll do a tutorial. But nonetheless, he helped me change a spare tire, and yeah, and I went on my way. And he was such a dick about it, but at the same time, he was very helpful about it. Like I remember he was like, "Oh, get the fucking like tire raiser thing. Like you raise your tire, right? Like slide it under your car. You gotta like measure it to where to where it's like appropriate. You measure it, and then you like get some like fucking metal rod, stick it into the fucking car raiser thing. You crank it up. That way your fucking part of your car is like up, right? The part of your car is up, and he's like, all right. So now you gotta unscrew this shit. It's like using the tools here. It's like, and then he's like showing me how to screw it, and it's like, now you go do it. Now you go do it, Billy. Now you go do it, son. I'm like, all right. So I'm like screwing the thing. He's like, no, yeah, crank it harder. You're the young generation. You should crank it harder, son. he called me like Billy Bob, like unironically and shit like that, because he's like old as fuck. And I'm like, all right. So I'm like cranking the shit, replacing a new spare tire, and put all the bolts back in. He's like, no, you gotta do it the diamond way, the star way, or whatever the fuck. He's like telling me to do this way, do this pattern. So I'm doing this shit, and then he's like, and he's like, oh, crank it down, obviously. That way, now that I put the spare tire back on, I lower the car down, and I wrap it up, and I thank the old man. But yeah, more of the lesson, right? More of the lesson. Old people know what they're doing, dude. Old people know what they're doing. And to really hit home, right? To really hit home, how old people, they know what they're doing is, all right. Today I go to right. Yeah, this is a story from today where I go to AutoZone. Right? I talked about this in my streams, maybe in one of my videos. I don't know. Honestly, I can't. Honestly, it's been bugging me all day, but I probably told it on stream or on video. I don't know. But the point was, I went to AutoZone today. Battery went bad. There was a guy that came in. He was like, battery good or whatever the fuck. But really, in the past, right, when I was driving this thing, for some fucking reason, I can't turn the car on, even though the car has been on for like 30 minutes. The alternator's been fucking running about, charging the fucking car, right? Charging the car. And, yeah, it's charging the car and all that good stuff. Oh, but as soon as I, turned the car off, all of a sudden it's dead. Even though it's been charging, apparently. It's just dead. And, I go to AutoZone and there's this young guy, this young folk, and no disrespect to him, right? He's just getting out, he's getting out his little tester thing, battery tester, his little iPad with the little cables. And I open up the hood of my car, I let him, snap in the clamps, right? The red and black clamps. I let it snap in, and the guy's like, oh, your battery's good. Your battery's epic. And I was like, what the fuck, dude? What the fuck? And, yeah. And I was like, okay, yeah, battery's good, I guess. It might be the alternator. And, actually, yeah, this story is a couple days back. I'm sorry. But we'll get to the point where it's today. So, oh yeah, the alternator's bad, right? Alternator's bad. So, car went bad after he checked the battery. And, car shit, right? So, I just get the battery, in my car. I have this jump start connector thing, so I'm like jump starting my car. So that's why I'm driving, right? I'm driving. So recently, I've had to jump start my car every time I fucking want to drive. And it's gotten so bad, honestly. Even though I've left my car for like 30 minutes, it should be fully charged by then. Yeah, it's fucking dead. It's fucking horrific. It's a goddamn nightmare. But yeah, it's a goddamn nightmare. Yeah. Horrible nightmare. And you know, fast forward to today, right? There we go. Today, I go in, right? I go in, and you know what? There's an old guy, and I'm like, hell yeah. So the old guy comes in. I ask for a battery test again. He comes in. He's like, I come in, and I open up the hood, right? And, he comes in, does a little battery testing. He's like, battery's good, but it's low. But it's low. Yeah, it's low. Which means your battery's shit. Even though this fucking tablet says it's good. The fucking battery test, right? It's low, which means... And then he goes on about, like, how... Yeah, sure, it says it's good and all, but... turns out, right? The guy, the old guy at the AutoZone, he's like... he was like, oh, it's not holding in, right? The battery is, what is it? It's not holding in the charge from the alternator and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, okay. That makes sense, right? Old man explains it. It makes sense. And, old man explains it. It makes sense. But just in case the old man was wrong, I go to the other guy. I go to the new guy. And I go to a new guy. I go to a different, I go to a different AutoZone, right? I go to a different AutoZone, and there's a new guy, he does the battery test again at a different location. At a different location. And, he does the thing. He's like, oh, your battery's good. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. No, it's not good. And I showed it. And I turned on the car in front of him, right? And the engine's not on because the fucking battery is fucking dead. It turns out the guy's like, but it says here the test is good. And I'm like, motherfucker, I'm showing you that the battery is shit. So I'm like, fucking... what is it? Push to start my fucking car. And the car is not, like, fucking on. Or, the car is on, but the engine is just absolute dog shit. It's not starting. Right? The engine is not starting. So, he's like, yeah, your battery's probably shit. So, me, my dad, we went to go, replace our batteries, right? We went to go replace our batteries. And lo and behold, the fucking car battery works. The fucking car works now. The engine works now. And it's all because of the old guy.